talking and you're interviewing them and all of a sudden they start to cry or something, you can always zoom in a little bit. Zoom in, because that's interesting. That looks really nice. So you don't want his head touching, like that, and you don't want him down on the bottom. You always want him kind of in here. Iska and the Tett Centre came up with an idea to hold a documentary film camp for immigrant youth here in Kingston. You could start off your documentary with the interview you did yesterday. So this is what we're going to see and hear in your film. We've taught them about proper composition, interview techniques, narration writing. They've created a short claymation animation to add to their documentary film. And we're going to finish up with giving a show of those films to their families.
So Joe, why do you want to record your movie here at the edge of the lake?
In my country where I came from, we didn't have like lake or like this beautiful view. It basically was like my escape when I feel upset, when I feel sad, when I need somebody to talk to and I didn't have people, like when I first came to Canada.
Right now I'm writing the story of like the film that I'm gonna make. I'm writing about like kind of like my life story for like right now.
Where I moved from my home country to Canada, the transition and how I adapted to the changes. Mine's kind of long. I'll make it shorter probably.
They've done a lot of story writing work on their immigration stories, where they've come from and where they are now.
I want to make it to show like other people about like my life in that and how it has changed since I moved to Canada and how great it has been.
I want to show people that it is possible to come here from another country and actually, you know, settle here and stuff.
My name is Anane, and this is my story. I came to Canada 5 years ago. Most of us are doing our life stories, how we started from our home country and then we came to Canada and how we're adapting and, you know, surviving nowadays. When I came to Canada, I experienced many changes, like, you know, the fact that there was literally no vegetarian food around that I could eat. The accents were different, stuff like that. Schooling curriculum was different.
We feel it's a really important thing to give everybody a chance to express themselves through the arts here at the Tett. But we felt specifically that these teens, immigrant teens new to Canada, have a really original story that maybe some Canadians wouldn't have heard before. So this is a way for them to be heard and to be seen.
My name is Muay. I'm 14 years old and I was born and raised in Thailand. When I was a kid, I liked staying active. One of the ways that I stayed active was by climbing trees. And when I started to move to Canada, it was tough for me because I didn't know any English at all and school was pretty hard. By making this movie, it will help me see how much I've changed, how much I've grown, and how different my life was back then. And it's important to me to show like who I am and like my skills and like what I can do.
Frame. This is called your frame. Choose that frame and keep that frame if you can. Sometimes Canadians who have been here for generations don't understand how hard it is to come to Canada and to stay here. So when we hear stories that are original and authentic, we get a better understanding of why it's important that we bring new people into Canada and how we can help facilitate that transition.
Hi, my name is Joe, and this is my story. My movie is about my story, my life before I came to Canada and my life after I came and the difficulties that I faced. I born in Iraq, but I had to move out like to around 7 countries because my dad trying to get, you know, a better job, also trying to find a better education for me and my brother. I used to change school every single year. I didn't have really much friends. I didn't have friends until I came here. So this is a part of problem in our generation. mostly because most of our back home countries is not safe to stay in. So we have to move out and we have to find somewhere safe to stay in, to settle.
When kids use documentary filmmaking to tell their story, it's a good way for them to process some of what they've gone through, and in sharing that story, they're able to possibly heal from some of the difficult issues that they've left in their home countries. Art is always a good way for us to express ourselves and to process things that maybe are difficult to talk about. When we make art, it's a bit of an arm's length distance. After we've created that piece of art, we can get more perspective. And then it helps them to move through and move on to become Canadian citizens.
Give me the confidence to be in front of camera, to not be shy, to not be scared, to not be close into myself, that I feel I have a voice and I want to just let it out, but I don't have the ability to.
If you don't express something, it just weighs you down like a burden forever, right? It's kind of a privilege to like actually describe what it felt like to, transfer from India to Canada. And it's also a story about to others that might be thinking of coming, that it is possible to adapt here, even though it is hard, but if you persevere, you can get there in the end.